Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. That's right, we're doing it. Thank you for joining me. It is Friday, January the 5th, 2024. 224, the 241, the 224, 2204, 2024, baby. We're doing January 5th. It's Friday. Beautiful, gorgeous bastards. Wherever you're tuning in from, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Every Wednesday and Friday, they're dropped on where? Instagram. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. Also, for the full-length videos, if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show, check out patreon.com/RobSadger, where you still get the good on a weekly basis, baby. We don't stop. We keep going. That's what it is. If you've been with me from the get-go, thank you for all the love and support. Sending it right back to you, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're here in Canada, down south in the United States of Americas, further down south, Mexico, further down south than that, South America, as always. What's going on, senors, senoritas over there in Africa, Asia, Europe, Middle East, hopping over to Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, as per usual, Cambodia, Guatemala, and we'll get to that later. Wherever you're chilling, wherever you're doing your thing, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to talk about it with all your family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, bosses, people who work under you, people who work above you, people who work inside you. Right there, as you're going to the gynecologist, have a conversation, man. Hear me, ladies? So thank you for all the love and support. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Today is just going to be another loose sesh. It's going to be an extra loose sesh. We're hanging. It's the beginning of the year, baby. And one thing that you want to maintain is patience. That's one of the things, and we'll talk about that, but not just reg patience. Give me a second, we'll get going, baby. Specifically, we're going to be talking about information cocktease and how you're supposed to maintain patience with information cocktease, because it's ever out there and it's on everybody's minds these days. There's exciting things happening in your personal lives, and of course, larger events that are taking place on a larger scale, that is, societally speaking. So you know what I'm talking about? You hear news, you read something, you hear a juicy story, but it's juicy. The headline's juicy. You want to clickety click. And you want to get to the bottom of it. And you've been hearing it for some time, so you want to, and that's the thing, right? So you get a little bit. And what do you do with information cocktail? What are we talking about today, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, we're talking about. I'm sure most of you guys and gals out there have heard the documents that we've been somewhat waiting for. Not these particular documents, but I think other documents. They're coming out, dude. What are we talking about? I'm talking about the Jeffrey Epstein documents that were supposed to come out and essentially give us a little bit more clarity. We were, I believe, the majority of people were hoping to get some sort of like client list so that we but now we've gotten like 900 pages plus another 300 pages plus other hundreds of pages that are going to be coming out. And thus far we have not a particular client list, rather I guess you have a flight list. People who took the Lolita Express all the way to Pedophile Island and the US Virgin Islands, where Epstein purchases 2 islands that at least we're aware of. Maybe he had more islands, I don't know. Had a lot of money, around $600 million by the time he, suicided himself. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We all know how that went. Not really, nobody knows how that went. That's the thing, a very peculiar circle. The whole situation, this one, I smell something. Something's right, something's wrong, something's a little bit off. That's what I'm saying. There's something from the get-go from this case, it's been off, and it is interesting though. I'd like to know more, obviously, like you out there. It's, but there are pages that have come out. I've not read them. It's 900 fucking pages plus another 300 plus other hundreds of pages. So I'm hoping other fascinated, curious minds out there are going and skimming through the 900 plus the 300 plus the other hundreds of pages that are come, and giving us the juice. Really, give me the juice. Don't give me. But I do like a little bit. Here's the thing though. You know what? We're on the right track. Let's just say that, because the information, because you have a spigot on information. You want to just you don't want to come out with information just wham, information right there. You want to tease a little bit. You want to be a little cock tease with information, or anything else for that matter in life. You don't want to just give it up. It is nice to just give it up. Every once in a while, I mean, it'd be nice to just give it up. Every once in a while, it'd be nice to just have it right there in front of you. You know what I'm talking about? Just right there, raw, sniffing of the old information. But that's what it is. So right now we have, if I'm not mistaken, people who took flights. We have a flight list. This is not the client list. This is people who've flown. And there's some names that have come up. The ones we've heard thus far, the ones that are most prominent names that have come up time and again. Bill Clinton apparently rode 50 times or 30 times, or a high number of times traveling with the Epstein. With Epstein, so if it's once or twice, he's apparently what we're receiving is that he was, rubbing elbows with the societal elite, with the, people in Hollywood, people, friggin' diplomats, politicians, CEOs, Stephen Hawking, dude, fucking beep bop beep boop, daddy, let's go. Everybody wants to get some, of course. So who knows? Who knows at this point? Bill Clinton's name was one of the names that popped up again and again, and there are several references made by alleged victims stating that at one point or another they did hear him say on the island, if I'm not mistaken, that he likes some young, I don't know what that's what he, at least now we know what he likes. He likes some young. How young does he like him? What do we even talk? What does he even like young? Maybe, maybe he likes, people go to Pedophile Island or like Epstein Island to adopt pets, of course. Maybe he wants his pets extremely young, maybe, friggin' he wants, what other things are desirable most when they're young? Pets, that's a good one. Planting trees or, any sort of greenery, really, because you want to see the growth process. You're like, oh, he likes some young plants, vegetables. He likes to get his hands dirty. What else do people like specifically? Food. Although you don't talk about it that way, but maybe that's just like lingo amongst the elite. Yo, how do you like your food? I like my food young, as in fresh. Maybe, I don't know. But also it could be just legit talking about underage chicks, which is, whoa, what are you doing here, dude? But also, that's probably, that's so, questions are being asked, names keep popping up. That's the thing, too, 50 times, dude, flying over to anywhere 50 times, you're best pals 50 times. I've not seen family members 50 times. I've not, I've got friends that I've probably not even been to like their home 50 times. So you know what I'm saying? If you're going to somewhere 50 times, you're best buds. You're essentially, that's your best friend. That's your best friend. That's probably closer to you than your spouse or wife or something. Or maybe not. Maybe, I don't know how people friggin' socialize, but 50, it's quite a bit of time. Considering, these sort of rumors, allegations, I don't know at this point. I'd like to get more clarity because it feels like, I don't want to be cock teased with information. Like all you all out there, we're getting information blue balls out here, and there's different things too. It's not just this overall. I'm just like, today's, I guess, underlying topic is like, how do you guys and gals deal with information blue balls or information cock teased out there, whether it's regarding to, international sex trafficking ring concerning minors, or you hear news about UFOs. Are we in touch? Are they touching us? Are we being probed? Are we probing anybody? Do we have bodies? Do we have spacecrafts? Or is it all just some sort of like, aversion to distract, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, fam, let's go. If you got the goods, and by the goods, I mean informations. Don't get me wrong. Daddy likes his nuts to be tickled a little bit. Fucking blow on my nuts a little bit. I like that with information, dude. Maybe spend a little bit of time around the cock area. Just, not even doing anything, but like teasing. Nice. Information teasing. I like it. We've been blue though. I like to get some more clarity, but that's the thing, dude. Ladies and gents, I'll say this and many other things. I'll keep saying things because that's what we do around here. We have fun, and I hope you're doing well today. Hope you, wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. things that I'm most concerned about though is, of course, like many of you out there, property is one. Property management. Who gets, what do we do with properties? I, for one, I like to, you know, I don't deal with anything small, dude. If I'm moving things, anything, it's big. We only deal with big numbers around here, okay? And property is one of those things, samesies here. Like, so we've got a property that is, it was available up until some point. I'm not quite sure if the deal has gone through or not. I'm talking about the islands. I'm talking about the islands that were, pedophile island. Little St. James, apparently that's what it was called, one of them. And then you have Greater St. James in the US Virgin Islands, ironically named Virgin Islands. Or maybe not so ironic, because that's what they were. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But that's what it is, baby. So it is properties were up for sale. Maybe some are still up for sale. I don't know if both of them, and what do you do? I'll say this, great news. I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm not quite sure because I don't know the deets of these things. I did read briefly that it was sold to a billionaire out there. Nice, tight. And that's what we do. Because that's what we don't fuck around with like chump change, dude. We just you got an island, you got a lot of millions of billions. Let's do a transaction, do a walk around. This is, you walk around and you show them the island. This is the fire pit. This is the temple, aka music room, because that's what it is. That if one thing about Jeffy Jeff and Associates, big fans of music, big fans of art, and you build a temple on an island, secluded, not to do, ritualistic, who knows? Who knows? Maybe a sacrifice to Baphomet. Who knows, dude? I don't know. Maybe a pentagram on the ground, lighting candles, seances. Who knows? Or maybe you just like some music. And a fella with a lot of money just build a temple dedicated to bringing world elites on an island to do music. Dude, didn't you ever just fucking get with your friends and just do music? Of course. So, people are people. And yes. The island was up for sale. It went up, I believe it sold for like 50 or 60 milli. And I want you to all to just know this. Whatever has happened, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Not so quick, but or to the middle of it, or maybe to the top. I don't know. We'll get to some of it. But the island, in and of itself, is a great island. The island didn't do anything. We can't just be like, forget the island. It's a good piece of property. And in 2 years' time, I want you to rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, this place is going to be turned into a luxurious resort. And it's going to have hotels. It's going to have bars. It's going to have pools. And you can walk around, man. You can walk around and reminisce and do anything on the island, really. Well, almost anything. But and talk about anything though. Here's the fire pit. Let's go get some lobsters for lunch. What are we having for din? Who cares? Let's clink our glasses, have a little bit of bubbly, have a little bit of white wine, have a little bit of red wine. Who's got the sangria? I want some mimosas. And here, as we walk past these, these turtles on the island, that's where people, that's where Bill was. You can point to a tree. You can point to a stump. You can point to a tree stump and be like, that's where Bill said he likes them young. And that's because people go visit places where notable people have been to, and you're like, oh, this is where, people will go places. This is such and such's house, or this is such and such's car, and this is such and such's, whatever, harmonica left, by his whatever. So, or this is her famous toothbrush. They'll say that people like, memorabilia or places that people have, So this is one of those places where you can go. And luxury too. I don't want you to think this is some cheap fucking this is luxurious stuff, okay? In the middle of the Virgin Islands, where you can go, have a little bit of food, rendezvous with your loved ones, bang out a couple of nice sets of, just classic 69ing, baby. Just 69ing on an island. No lube necessary, because whatevs, dude. We're just having fun. And that's what it is. And if they say, if you, on this particular island, if you hold up a seashell to your ear, you can actually hear the children screaming. But that's, you know, that's aside the point, ladies and gents. The point is that we're making strides. We are making strides. You know, should the island, for 50 or 60 mil, I am a little bit, here's the thing, I do engage in, you know, just business, like many of you guys and gals out there, big business guy here. I'm just wondering, like 50, 60 milli for a island that's been like known to be a, you know, it was known to the locals in the Virgin Island. Locals, this is what the locals apparently, so this is what I read, they call it pedophile island. So if you know an island is known as pedophile island, does that do anything to, like, was it originally 50, 60 million before it was known as pedophile island, or like was it more and then it went down? Because like if you lived in a home and somebody got murdered in that home, or you know, there's been some sort of horrendous event in any location, really, if there was a huge fire in a home and the foundation's been compromised, or you know, again, somebody's been murdered, multiple people, you know, this home used to belong to, you know, gang members who used to deal drugs or whatever. Do you really, is that going to be the same price as like a regular pure home, let's say, in a sense, or not even a pure, but like a home that's still been, you know, used and just, you know, people have come and gone, mostly come and then gone, but like nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is that does pedophilia, you know, does that impact property values or not? Because I'm just saying, I think if it did get sold to that billionaire that I read about, if I forget his name, it's not important at this moment. I think 50, 60 mil might be a little bit too much, sir. I think you paid a little bit too much. But then again, you're a billionaire, so it's not like, you know, it's too much for me. But 56 is too much for me, but to you, no big deal. So nonetheless, you got a great deal. Congratulations. That's something that you can all, you know, gather around and with your, again, friends, family, loved ones, associates, friends of friends, come on down. 2 years in 2025, this place is going to be a hotel resort, luxury style, baby, just where you get massages. You come here, you relax, and you get massages. And for the right price, we'll get you anything. They'll get you anything. Almost. So we try to get you everything, but apparently that is, again, we found out, who knew, underage massage that leads to underage puss. Apparently people are not cool with that. Apparently. So we can't get you everywhere. We will come as close as possible together. As close as possible. So, you know, I'm curious to know what's going on. I'm curious to know actual, like, I want to see the client list, not just like, you know, because that's the thing. There is a lady in jail still. There's this, you know, there's that, the madam, if you will, the madam of this. I think that's what they call. I'm not calling her a lady or a madam because, like, I have, you know, I respects for this, you know, but that's the thing. She's behind bars. Her lover got strangled by a hefty fella, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he had some assistance, dude, ladies and gents. He had some assistance. That's the thing too. You read about it in the news, though. If you read about it in the news, you just read it, take it for face. Or, you know, take it at face value. It's like, oh, he committed suicide. Did he though? Did he though? Are we still, like, that's the thing. So when we talk about, like, you know, information and, you know, it's interesting. It is interesting. Who's got access to information? What level of information are the public having access to? And this is not just for this case. There's so many other things that you just wonder throughout your days, walking about, doing life. You're like, man, I wonder what else is going on. And, you know, you're just going about your day. And most people are busy. I get it. Most people have, like, you know, 9 to 5s, families, obligations, this, that. Well, most people, you know, this guy, no 9 to 5, no family, no obligations, and always down for a good time. So the beauty of it is that we can, you know, we can come together, collectively find out and have a little bit of a, but that's the thing. At the same rate, I do have to, you know, because I like to, there was a period of time, I don't know, I've not particularly lived that period of time myself, but there was a period of time prior to current times where money and power and status and being on the upper echelons a society meant something, meant you could do. Nowadays, I gotta be honest with you, man. You want to do some, you want to do some sketch stuff. You got to jump through so many hoops, and all eyes are on you, and it's like, oh, so it's being filthy rich and quote unquote powerful is not what it used to be. So my heart genuinely goes out to everybody out there who's reached the top of the financial and you reach the top of the mountain of like finances and having access, and you can't go around like your predecessors where like, oh man, my great uncle was like, this thing's like ancestral, it runs in the family, so that's another name that came up again and again. It's Prince Andrew. He's one of those names that keeps popping up. So again, but these are Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, these are the two prominent names that keeps coming up that have paid several visits. Prince Andrew, if I'm not mistaken, actually paid hush money to a victim, which so it's like things are there are more though. That's the thing. This was an international sex trafficking ring, so there were clients who actually purchased certain services from minors. So there are names, but it's it's gonna take some time. But this is what it is. A little bit of a cock tease. So, but I like it because it's like foreplay with information. Who doesn't like a little bit of foreplay with anything? That's how you build intensity, so that when time is ready and you are ready in time, we come together. I think that's, and we edge and we hold and we pull, and when we're ready together, we will. Oh man, it's gonna be climb. That's where the climax is at, baby. You wanna tease, and then when they're least expecting that, kaplow, right there, information overload. But that's the thing, because I don't want people to get discouraged and be like, oh man, this is turning into the whole UFO, UAP situation where every week or every 6 months or every year they come out like the Pentagon's gonna release some information, and you get like the same old, not really any sort of clarity. And I, either come at it or like, but I get it. Certain things, I don't get it actually. I try my best, all right? Can a guy just come here and give it his best? Can a fella just try to, whatever, dude? I don't even know what I'm talking about. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that I like to say that yes, the property was sold. It's a delightful property. It's where you can just have a lot of fun, reminisce, and it's gonna be nice. The resort's gonna be nice. I believe in it, and I believe in us. So sip to you guys and gals out there. Simultaneously though, this is what I like to, one of the biggest takeaways from all this Epstein, Weinstein, all these all these pedos, all these stories, one of the things that we should all take away from one of the major things that we should all take away from this, I suppose, watch over your children and kids. That's one thing that I would say. I think it raises awareness that these things, because some people don't even want to acknowledge that these darker aspects of humanity exists out there. Some people are like, what list, what pedophiles, what this, that, and the other, but they do exist. They're out there. Most people are good, of course, but not to say that these things don't also exist, because some people are just like, because you don't want to, some people, and I don't know the reason behind why some people don't want to, some of it is just we don't know. We learn and we grow and we find out. Some of it is and you learn, but you don't want to believe in it because it is one of those dark aspects of humanity. We're like, why, how, who, when, where, all that stuff. But that is to say, watch over your kids is what I'll say, especially in the age of technology, the phones being so accessible to young children out there. Sending your daughter to university hoping that she'll go and get an education, and be careful if she's not attending, or maybe she's attending school but like you guys were like lower middle class, whatever family, all of a sudden your daughter is 19, 20, 21, she's going to classes, 6 months into the course she's rolling up with like a Corvette or a Mustang. Maybe start asking questions as to where she got the money, because you don't want her to it's easy. If somebody approaches your daughter and says, hey, come give my friend a massage, maybe maybe just be like, maybe have a little chit chat with children, with your kid. I don't have any kids of my own, but this is, I guess, the big takeaway from all this is there are people who like them young. All right, that's one thing we could take away from all this. That is a conclusive. I think most people know, but it's just also good to, like, because people know, but then some people don't, and then we come together, so we all know better. So, you know, watch your kids, but also, like, you don't want to be that helicopter parent. So, you know, just like, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. I think the big takeaway from all this is that, yes, certain aspects of humanity will have always existed and will probably continue to exist as well. Not that this has stopped this from happening. Like, this is great. We're making strides. This is positive, but, you know, there are probably there are other islands. There are other places. There are, you know, the children, women, young men, young girls do, you know, get fucking whatever. So that is a reality. So protect yourselves at all costs and at all times. Speaking of which, I was reading an article, which this is actually, it's coincides with this particular topic. I was reading an article in Guatemala, apparently. Shout out to Guatemala, what's going on? Like, I didn't know this until I read the article. But apparently, at one point or another in Guatemala, and not just Guatemala either, this is sort of like a thing that happens to impoverished communities, sometimes impoverished countries, or countries altogether, or a community within a country. It doesn't matter. Impoverished places in the world sometimes get exploited like this, and what happens is that men, they have children that they can't afford to take care of, and essentially end up giving up their children to adoption. And it was a longer article, but it was actually interesting because I never really thought about it that way. In terms of adoption, it seems like a good thing. It is a nice thing, but international adoption seems to be one of those loopholes where the waters get murky, where the water gets dirty, where we're walking in murky waters here. Because international adoptions apparently can be a loophole for children being, you know, misplaced, disappeared, kidnapped, for different reasons. One, sometimes it is legitimate. People are going to certain places because they like to adopt children, and doing it privately through private firms is sometimes easier, and that's been apparently outlawed or banned in some areas. I believe Guatemala has done it. They put a stop to it because at one point in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, this was going on for a really long time, but 1 in 100 children in Guatemala were being put up for adoption. And again, the thought of it from our, you know, from at least from my perspective, I can only speak for myself. From my perspective, it was always just like, oh yeah, adoption is actually a really, you know, it's good. It's not, you know, if a child is in need, they don't have, you know, the parents don't have the proper means or whatever. Maybe the parents have died to an illness, leukemia, or fucking the black lung. I don't know, whatever, dude. The kid doesn't have any parents, needs to be adopted. It's potentially a better upbringing than, I don't know, foster care homes. I've not gone through that situation. My heart genuinely goes out. But for my perspective, it was like, yes, adoption, good. But there's always, like, you know, different aspects to it. So I didn't know this. But apparently in Guatemala, yeah, there was a market where you just like go and try to lure pregnant women into giving up their children and kind of coming at them from an angle like, listen, you're you know, are you facing financial difficulties? Are you having a difficulty? Did your mans leave you? Do you not have, you know, the means to care for your children? And they'd go and lure pregnant women into giving up their children. And the methods of obtaining these kids were, you know, questionable to say the least. Because one, these women are in impoverished circumstances. Two, some of them happen to be from, you know, they don't have access to a lot of resources. So they're not well informed or educated on the whole processes of, I guess, giving up your child and adoption and perhaps other things. Oh man, these ladies are in dire circumstances and they're in dire need of money. So people would go to them and offer them, you know, chump change, pocket change, essentially, for their babies, or sometimes even kidnap them. At one point in the article that I was reading, a kid got kidnapped, and eventually down the line, when in her 30s, she went back to Guatemala to find her birth mother, and it turned out she thought she knew a lady that was going to be her birth mother, but apparently it turned out that the lady that she kind of had some sort of connection to was her original kidnapper, and it turned out that the kidnapper was the neighbor, which is wild. So I was reading that, all that to say, I guess it coincides with the Epstein and Weinstein, and all these stories kind of coincide together with, I guess, vulnerable populations, whether it's minors or women, children, who are in circumstances that get exploited easily, and that's a reality. I guess this is not, and it's not just in Guatemala. This was happening, and it still is happening in places like Haiti, portions of in the article I can't remember all the countries that they named. India was one of them, and these are not just, again, it's not just specific to those locations. Anywhere in the world you travel to, if you see impoverished neighborhoods or places where they're having a really difficult time, that is probably something that happens. Now again, different regions, different communities, probably different circumstances for everybody, but this is a reality that takes place again. So that's one of those things, man. So it's international adoption is one of those loopholes that you go, yeah, some people genuinely go and adopt children and bring them into their homes and provide loving facilities and a great opportunity to have a beautiful life. That's also a part of it. Some parts of it, though, are children who are getting snatched up by who knows what, dude. Getting lured into God knows what for who knows what. For body parts, for baby body parts, that happens. For who knows, dude. You could, you never know, because they fake documents at times. Your kid could end up in, a sex trafficking ring. And these are the realities of life. That happens. So it coincides kind of with the Epstein and again, the whole child pedophile larger story that has been kind of, it's been coming to light over the past few years. And these things do exist. That is all that to say. I don't even know what I was saying. All that to say is that, yes, I read that article, and in the past couple of days, I was just kind of like, oh man, more clarity on the whole Epstein issue. It'd be nice to get some answers. So all that to say, watch your kids. Do not engage in purchasing children. If you can make your own children, make your own children. If you can't, then adopt maybe locally. Don't fly over to I want only rich celebrities to be able to, rich, powerful celebrities, or just rich, affluent people should be the only ones who are able to adopt impoverished children. Because at least rich, powerful, it's the only person I want adopting children. I want Angelina Jolie to adopt children. All right, I want Madonna to adopt children. That's pretty much it. I don't want anybody else going out there internationally adopting children. Unless you're like, that's a little bit, okay, everybody should be able to adopt children. There's no solution to this. We can only do it. We can only try to do it better. And I'll say this, man, Angelina Jolie and Madonna's kids are fully probably grown up, if I'm not mistaken. So check out patreon.com/RobSadri if you'd like to still get a little bit of glimpse of what it's like to, give back in terms of one of the greatest shows on earth, that is, and this child is no longer a child, rather a full-grown man baby. That's right, not a man baby, but like a man baby. That's right. So patreon.com/RobSadri. But that is to say that, watch yourself, watch your kids, but also don't be, how do you deter your kids from getting engaged in certain activities? Occupy their time with sports. That's right, combat sports specifically. If you have a child, make sure your child is a baby assassin. The baby must know all the martial arts. Put a chip in your baby, download all the martial arts, so if that baby comes in contact with a predator, fucking, right there, baby. You know what I'm saying? So the baby can handle his own business. Stop putting you in your, because they say that once you have a baby, your life is no longer yours. You're like, you always come second, or you never get to come. Something about coming and babies getting in the way. So the point is, make sure you're strap sharp objects on your baby's back. So when snatchers come to grab your baby, they cut their hands and they start bleeding. And oh my God, this baby's, there's a defect on this baby, I'm bleeding. They'll say something like that. Give your kids AIDS. Give your kid AIDS, man. Give your kids AIDS so that when they try to get a hold of that booty, little booty, they get AIDS. These fucking perverts want to get behind your kids. Make sure your kid is injected with all the AIDS so that the predators are also getting the AIDS. I don't know. It's gonna be a long journey to get to the bottom of this. Maybe don't make your baby make your baby hideous. Choose a hideous partner so that your baby comes out, a little bit of an uggo, so that your baby is not prone to getting snatched up. You want not that one. You want one of those babies. These are the ways that I'm thinking. Put a car alarm on your baby, so that when a stranger danger gets near, the alarm will go off. Somebody touches your baby, oh, stranger danger, snatcher. You could dunk your baby, get a bunch of skunks, and constantly every day until the age of 18 at least, dunk your baby in skunk juice. Just let your baby bathe in skunk juice. Dude, fill up the bath water, fill the bathtub to the gills with skunk juice, dip your baby in it, and that way you are sure to know that there's not going to be any predators getting around to your kids. Make your baby kind of like, it's just like, if you see a stranger try to pick you up, and if it's not mommy or daddy, teach him to punch them in the nuts. Let's go with the basics. Punch in the nuts. Oh, right there. If anybody's going down around your kids grabbing their nuts, that fella or lady should be confiscated. That being said, this is what I do, baby. That's what I does. I just came up with like at least 10 ideas to prevent your babies from getting snatched up or, whatevs, dude. So you're welcome. Looking out for the larger community at play here. And what don't we do? Really, what don't we do together? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'll say. And the takeaway from all that is to say more will be unraveled. In case you got the old information, blue balls, give us some time. Things will come to the light, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, let us skirt into another interesting story that I heard that I'd like to share with you guys and gals out there. It's breaking news, not so much, but nonetheless still very interesting and curious to say the least. A Florida man, is suing Dunkin' Donuts for, apparently, if I'm not mistaken, for roughly $50,000 for damages. Apparently he went into a Dunkin' Donut and he entered a bathroom and a toilet exploded and covered this beautiful Floridian man in human fecal matter and urine and debris, which was probably comprised of human fecal matter, urine, maybe a little bit of I don't know if the piping to the ladies' bathroom's connected. I don't know how piping works, but if there was some lady juice in the, ladies might every once in a while in a public bathroom dump a tampon, dump a Tampax, just blood clots in there. So potential, for sure, we know he was covered in fecal matter and urine, perhaps a little bit of PMS juice as well in there, mixed in just, filth essentially. But again, they do say somebody's garbage, which is filth, is another man's treasure. So that being said, though, he's suing. He's suing for $50,000. But here's an interesting thing to me. Here's what I like. Again, I do like business. I do like negotiation tactics. I do like going to the table. I like to walk up to the table and like to actually turn around from the table. There's an offer. I like to look at the table and the offer, and I like to back away from the offer so that you're like, oh, what is this? Whatever, dude. Offers on tables, I'll walk back and forth. So $50,000 is, I think we can do way better than that. I think we can sue for millions. Typically, I'm not a big fan of suing, but at the same rate, if somebody's going to sue, I don't have just because I don't have a license to practice law doesn't mean that I don't get excited. Doesn't mean that certain topics are, if it's of interest to me, I will represent you. Free boner, baby. Free boner representation all day, every day. Other lawyers will come up to you fully hard in your face. Free boner, this guy, dude. Free boner, doing it, repping clients all over the world. So I'll say this, we are no longer suing for 50K. We are suing for millions of dollars for the damages caused by fecal matter to my client's face and body. Because that's the thing, dude. You think about it. What could you even put a price on getting covered in human doo-doo, fecal matter? Poopsies everywhere. Urine, PMS juice, blood clots, right there in your mouth. The shock of it, and then you walk out. You go to the bathroom. You're a fine gentleman that is just taking a day to go get Dunkin' Donuts, get a little bit of get your coffee, get your donuts, do the Dunkaroos, and fucking be a gentleman and walk out. Maybe say hello to a couple of ladies, wink wink right there, ladies or fellas, whatever you're up to. I don't know what you're doing out there. The point is, you're just a regular gentleman just trying to go about your day, go about your business, and all of a sudden you'd make a connection at the local Dunkin' Donut coffee shop chain franchise. You wink and you nod and you're like, I'll be right back. And then you go into the bathroom and then you come out and you're covered from head to toe in fecal matter. Where do we go from here? The wink and the nod that you had a great connection with that brunette over there by the Dunkin' Donut bar. I don't know if they've got a bar in there, but like a little counter or whatever. She's still waiting for a coffee as well. Look at you guys hitting it off right before the whole fecal matter incident. But now she's looking at you. She's like, oh my God. Freaking out, dude. She's freaking out. And you've been wanting to go out on a date for some time now. And you just made a connection. Connections lost. This could have been potentially your lifelong partner. You know? This could have been the start of your beautiful family that you've been waiting for. Now she's seeing you from head to toe, covered in feces, dude. Covered in doo-doo from head to toe. And she's looking at you and she's no longer thinking that this is the fine gentleman that I saw walking into Dunkin' Donuts. Oh no, sir, this looks like a legitimate bum from the streets. Maybe she thinks that's what you're into. Maybe, and that's she just walks out before even giving a chance to you to come about your, like, you don't get a chance to come and say, the toilet exploded, Becky. The toilet exploded back, and she's like, you're an animal. John, you're an animal. Can't believe this. And she's, furious. Snatches her purse between her tits and walks out, dude. There you go. You guys were about to fucking go have babies together, but Becky saw you covered in fecal matter. So how do you put a price on a full family? 50K? I doubt it. Doubt it. I want at least $10 million for my client. The emotional damage, the potential loss of a lifetime partner. My client was also on his way to a job interview, the most expensive of job, the most lucrative of job interviews, offering them the most lucrative of deals. He was about to get hired by NASA. That's right. Just because he's covered in fecal matter and urine and PMS blood doesn't mean that he was not on his way to fucking NASA to get hired to go to space and shit. So, but guess what? There's 10 other guys who are showing up to NASA not covered in fecal matter, and he might be the best dude, but like at the end of the day, if you show up to a job interview and you're covered in shit, who's gonna get the job? You might be the best physicist, but still, fecal matter, like we can't take that up there. It's limited room, limited oxygen. If this is like, we get it, you might be the best physicist with quantum mechanics, string theory, but we can't have you playing around with shit. Like they told us to write down a couple of your hobbies so we know when we're sending 5-6 people up there if we can get along with the group. And this guy likes fucking, rolling around his shit apparently. So assumptions. So, and again, lost his job in NASA. Great job. And that's the thing, dude. And so emotional damage, loss of a relationship, loss of a potential job, fear of toilets. Might I add, you go to the toilet, you try to sit down every time. Now you gotta like every 2 seconds, this poor fella has to get up and like check the toilet because now, deep in his, it's ingrained in his, it's innate now. It's a part of him. It's in there. A part of him just has a fear, a phobia of toilets, but it's not even a phobia. It is a rational fear. He had a toilet explode on him. Fucked. Fecal matter all over right there, lodged in your, right there in the corner of your eye. Try to get that out, and you're asking for help. People are like, so it's. I'll say this: My client is now suffering from IBS, where he wasn't suffering from IBS whatsoever. So that in of itself, just the sheer fear of getting into a bathroom, getting near a toilet, is, in its most obvious sense, is limiting my client's mobility, lifestyle, a very, very loose life, a very beautiful, loose lifestyle that he led right before this incident, which has now become, he will recover, we do, but he is a very strong and motivated individual. He will get out there and go after it and get it. But nonetheless, my client is, you know, the 50K is just not going to cut it. So we saw the offer on the table. We're backing up. This is us. Beep, 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 beep. Backing up. Yeah. But also I'm getting closer to the table. So what is this? We are now engaging in dialogue. We are now negotiating. So why don't you take that 50,000, take it to your boss, take it to your boss's boss, and whisper in their ear, add some zeros. All right, so come back when there are more zeros and more commas, unless you want to see this entire franchise still continue to do well, but nonetheless have months and months of litigation. And that is how I rest my case, Your Honors. That is, my case is snug as a bug, snoozing away, rested. Thank you. Nappy time. Little nap for my case. My case likes to take cat naps in the afternoon so that my resting case can come up fully energized, ready to go. I never overwork my cases. I see fellas out there overcase, you know, just, oh, this case needs to be worked 1, 2, 3 times, bitch. You don't know the first thing about cases, fam. Talking long-term cases. Cases that go not just once, twice, 3 times. No, cases that go to fucking lifetime full of cases, baby. You can't be doing that shit 3 times a day. Rest your case. Give it some rest time. Give it some water. Give it a massage. Rub the case a little bit. Back away from the case. The case needs a little bit of space, all right? Constantly working the case is no good. So I like to rest my case at this point and ask for $10 million for the damages caused by Dunkin' Donuts toilets to my client, his family, his social circle, which ripples out into larger society. Because if this happens to one man, ladies and gentlemen, it could easily happen to another fellow or lady out there. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, what don't we cover? Really, I mean, this, that, and the other, we get personal, we get emotional, but then we turn into, we also balance it with logic. We balance it with whatever it needs to be balanced, we fucking do it. We do it in and out, every day, every week. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Again, I like to recommend just, it is the new year. A lot of people are making resolutions. How do I, go about benefiting myself and my family members? How do I take care of myself? What's one thing that, a lot of doctors don't say this, but I'll go out on a limb and say it. As a doctor, as a unregistered, unlicensed doctors with the most borders, representing doctors with the most borders, I'll say this: get tops twice a day, before breakfast, after dinner, 7 days a week, 365 a day. So that's tops for ladies and gents, twice a day. Remember that. Before breakfast, after dinner. And that in and of itself will guarantee you a lifetime of happiness, wealth, success, a lot of mutually shared moisture between you and your loved one, and switch it up. In the morning, she'll go down on you. Evening, you'll go down on her. Switch it up. Next morning, whatever. But at least twice a day. Twice a day. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Go down on each other. Have a little bit of fun. Spit on it. Give him time. Give him time. It'll start working again. Just let it breathe for a second. It'll start working once again. And if she is, give her time too. Give her time. Ease into it. She's not wet. You take your time. Again, what did we talk about in the early stages of this particular today's episode? What did we say? A little bit of, you want to take your time. You want to have a little bit of patience. You want to, just like information. You don't want to just jump right. Here's all the information. No. Cock tease for the information. Also a little bit of foreplay in your love lives. And it's the little things in each aspect of our lives that come together and collectively make us better and stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. As per usual, don't know what I'm talking about. Just having a ball with y'all. Thank you for tuning in. If you like escapism, but with a little bit of mixed with reality, that's the most realist escapism, if there was ever one to be. This is it right here. Come here, have fun, talk about it with your family and friends, loved ones, pass it around. Hack into your office database and just wipe all the data and just upload all these videos so that they can watch these beautiful videos that you'll find in the catalog in the library, so that Monday morning comes, you're like, oh, where's the spreadsheet for the whatever? I don't see any spreadsheets. Where's my Excel document? Nowhere to be found. What is this? It's a Glad You Made It episode right there, blowing their mind away. And next thing you know, your fucking corporation, your business, everything is skyrocketing all the way to the moon and back and forth. Just doing really well, really, really well. Love y'all. Thank you for joining me once again. Where can you find these videos? Every Wednesday and Friday. Instagram. Subscribe there. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTubes. Hit that subscribe button though, because you get the like. You can like it and then you can subscribe it. So you get the reminder. That's what it's there for. So you get the reminder because you're busy out there, and I don't blame you. Watching over your kids, getting potentially fucking whatevs, dude. Watching over your finances, watching over yourself, doing this, that, so you get the notification so you don't have to think about it. All right? And then check out patreon.com/rawsage if you'd like to fiscally support the show. I love you. I'll be back here again next week. Have fun, and let's see the actual client list. Until next time. Well, next time's coming up very soon. It's going to be next week. I just told you. So just chill, have fun, and I'll be here again next week. Peace out.